Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus urges all citizens to restore law and order immediately. Chief Advisor urges all to refrain from destroying properties of fascist Sheikh Hasina and Awami League leaders. Strict enforcement of law and order must to make the role of state and government visible, BNP statement. Price of vegetables within tolerable limits, edible oil price unstable at market. Child readers happily congregate at Omar Ekushe Book Fair today. Book sale increasing. Use of sulfur filter technology increasing to clean toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. Prime Minister Netanyahu directs Israeli army to be prepared for implementation of Donald Trump's Gaza control plan. And Fortune Borishal clinched BPL title, beating Chittagong Kings by 3 wickets in the final. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is News at 10 on BTV News. I'm Imtiaz Ahmed Siddiqui. You just heard the headlines. Let's move on to the details of those and other stories. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammed Yunus has urged all citizens to immediately restore complete law and order in the country. In a statement, the Chief Advisor stressed ensuring that there would be no further attacks on properties associated with the family of Sheikh Hasina and politicians of fascist Awami League Party or against any citizen on any pretext. The anger of activists who have attacked properties is understandable because they and their relatives and friends lived through years of tyranny under Hasina. The government understands the activists' sense of outrage that even from her refuge in New Delhi, Hasina continues to try to mobilize her militants to hamper Bangladesh's recovery from her years of abuse, the statement read. Despite this understanding, the government appealed to the citizens to abide by the law to show the world we are a nation that respects to the rule of law. Respecting the rule of law is what differentiates the new Bangladesh, the statement said. The interim government is working together to build from the old Bangladesh under the fascist regime. Let us now not undermine Bangladesh's sense of security and stability. Any disregard for the law endangers the lives and properties of citizens, said the statement issued from the Chief Advisor's press wing. For the citizens who rose up and overthrew Sheikh Hasina regime in July and August to realize their dreams of the country, it is imperative to prove to ourselves and our friends around the world that our commitment to our principles, respecting one another's civil and human rights and acting under the law, is unshakable. Champions of a just new Bangladesh must never act in ways that could support any received equivalence, however unjust between the behavior of today's institutions and those of ousted autocrats, the statement said. Security forces are aware of this imperative, the statement said, adding the government is working with the country's security forces to preserve law and order and to protect the lives and properties of all Bangladeshis. The government warned that if any attempt is made to destabilize the country through any kind of provocative activities, law enforcing agencies will immediately take strict action against anyone acting to create chaos and anarchy, which emphatically includes the destruction of property. The government will bring the responsible individuals and groups to justice. The leaders of fascist regime have left the country in complete ruins. They have no chance to come back as long as the country's people remain alert and retain the moral high. Any attacks to their properties give them an excuse to draw international attention to themselves and dish out their fabricated stories. The government, in the process of trying them for their crimes against humanity. The whole world is with the interim government. Any deterioration of law and order will give a wrong message to the world, the statement read. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus also called upon all citizens to materialize their dream of building a country where all Bangladeshis can live in security and dignity, to act with self-discipline and to channel their energy into productive, peaceful efforts to support positive changes. BNP expressed deep concern over the current situation in the country and urged the government to take decisive action in upholding law and order. BNP Senior Joint General Secretary Ruhul Kabir Rizvi said in a statement issued on Thursday late night. The statement said that BNP is observing with deep concern that the provocative actions of the defeated and fugitive dictatorship and its allies, who were ousted through the sacrifice of thousands of martyrs, along with their indecent and offensive remarks about the bloody student uprising of July-August, have sparked intense anger and resentment among the people of the country. As a result, memories, statues, installations and nameplates of fallen autocrat were damaged in Dhaka and elsewhere in the country on Wednesday. The BNP said that the stability of the state and the government would be at stake if the government fails to control the situation. In this situation, there is a possibility of a resurgence of extreme anarchists, anti-democracy, local and foreign evil forces, side by side, defeated fascists, signs of which are already visible. In the statement, BNP called upon the interim government to establish control over the situation. The edible oil market has been destabilized a bit again, despite prices of all kinds of vegetables remain stable. Traders say the market of soybean oil lacks enough supply against the demand, causing price hike. However, prices of rice, lentil, eggs, flour, sugar, as well as fish, beef and mutton remain stable. On an average, per kilogram of potatoes is being sold at Taka 20, while tomatoes, brinjal, cauliflowers and cabbage are being sold between Taka 20 and 30 at different markets in the capital. On the other hand, prices of eggs remain unchanged. However, prices of chicken increased by Taka 10 per kilogram. The month-long Omar Ekushe Book Fair drew huge gathering of book lovers on Friday, the first holiday of the month, with the inauguration of Shishu Prohor. Children thronged the book fair in the morning as it was Shishu Prohor or Children's Hour. Children enjoyed every moment of the Shishu Prohor. They were busy with the elements of the Children's Hour, including drawing. All kinds of kids passed a busy time accompanied by their parents at the Omar Ekushe Book Fair today. Meanwhile, the fair is getting momentum in terms of sale and presence of book lovers. Sulfur cleans the poisonous gas hydrogen sulfide from the air. Ghazi Hamidur Rahman invented this low-cost sulfur filter with indigenous technology in the capital's Nikunjo. He wants to use it to cut down on air pollution at home. Additionally, Hamidur sells sulfur filters on a small scale. This technology has been successfully used in various parts of the country to run engines on biogas for cooking purposes and to ensure fresh air by removing odors from toilets. Additionally, more people are becoming interested in making and utilizing biogas plants. Ghazi Hamidur is also making these large-size filters for biogas-powered engines. His invented sulfur filter is being used in various projects of Bangladesh Rural Development Academy and Department of Youth Development. Besides, this sulfur filter is being used for cooking with biogas for thousands of students of Madrasa in Chittagong and at the Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar. Ghazi Hamidur Rahman said government instructions are needed for the use of sulfur filters. This will help to lessen pollution in the environment. And now, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order sanctioning the International Criminal Code, accusing it of illegitimate and baseless actions targeting America and their close ally Israel. The measure places financial and visa restrictions on individuals and their families who assist in ICC investigations of American citizens or allies. Trump signed the measure as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was visiting Washington. Last November, the ICC issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu over alleged war crimes in Gaza, which Israel denies. The ICC also issued a warrant for a Hamas commander. Judges at the court said there were reasonable grounds that Netanyahu, his former defense minister Yoav Gallant, and Mohammad Deif of Hamas bore criminal responsibility for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. Deif's death in an Israeli airstrike last year has since been confirmed by Hamas. The International Criminal Court (ICC) is a global court with the power to bring prosecutions for genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes. At least 4 people were killed when a U.S. military contracted plane crashed in a rice field in the southern Philippines on Thursday, according to officials from the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. The Civil Aviation Authority of Philippines confirmed the crash of a light aircraft in Mindanao del Sur province, but did not immediately provide further details. The plane, which was contracted by the U.S. military, crashed in the southern province, as confirmed by U.S. Embassy spokesperson Kanishka Gangopadhyaya. The bodies of 4 individuals believed to be foreign nationals were recovered from the wreckage in Ampatuan town, according to Amir Jahid Tim Ambalulotto, a safety officer from Mindanao del Sur province. The U.S. Department of Treasury on Thursday imposed sanctions on a network of more than a dozen people and firms that are accused of facilitating the shipment of millions of barrels of Iranian oil to China. The Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctioned more than a dozen people and companies in China, India, and the United Arab Emirates. The targets include Iranian and Indian citizens, crew management firms, and a collection of ships. Tammy Bruce, a State Department spokeswoman, said in a Thursday statement that the U.S. will use all tools at our disposal to hold the regime accountable for its destabilizing activities and pursuit of nuclear weapons that threaten the civilized world. Australia has introduced strict laws to combat hate crimes, including mandatory minimum sentences for a range of terrorism offences and displaying hate symbols following a spate of anti-Semitic attacks in Sydney and Melbourne. The new laws passed Thursday orientation, gender identity, disability, religion or ethnicity. The changes were first proposed by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's Labour government last year amid an uptick in anti-Semitic attacks and calls for tougher penalties for offenders. At the time, the proposed legislation didn't include mandatory sentencing, which Albanese has previously vehemently opposed. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said that he has instructed the military to draft a plan to allow voluntary departure of Gaza residents from the enclave, echoing U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal. The Israeli plan would allow Gaza residents to depart for any country willing to receive them via land crossings or through special arrangements for departure by sea and air, Katz said. The region, home to over 2.1 million Palestinians, has been severely affected by a 15-month-long war. Trump's comments about U.S. involvement in Gaza have sparked significant controversy. The U.S. president had previously suggested that the U.S. would take control of Gaza post-conflict and relocate its residents. While U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio suggested the relocation would be temporary, Trump has made it clear that he envisions a permanent move for Palestinians. The proposal has faced widespread rejection from Palestinian leaders and Arab nations who argue that forced displacement would breach international law. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baqeri criticized the plan, calling it an effort to destroy Palestine entirely. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres also voiced concerns, stressing the importance of preventing any form of ethnic cleansing. Guterres reaffirmed that Gaza should remain an integral part of a future Palestinian state. The controversy surrounding Trump's plan has even divided his own party. The world continues to witness record-breaking temperatures. The European Climate Change Service confirmed that January 2025 is officially the warmest first month of the year in history. Last month was the warmest January worldwide, with an average global temperature of 13.2 degrees Celsius. This is almost 0.8 degrees Celsius above the 1991-2020 average for the month and 1.75 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level 1850 to 1900. Samantha Burgess, a strategic lead for climate at Copernicus Climate Change Service, noted this is particularly surprising because of the development of La Nina conditions in the tropical Pacific Ocean. This should have a temporary cooling effect on global temperatures. These previous three record January months 2024, 2020 and 2016 occurred either during the ongoing El Nino phenomenon, the warmer than normal equivalent of La Nina, or when sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific Ocean approach El Nino. Bangladesh Sorkari Kormochari Oikko Porishod held a rally demanding implementation of 7-point, including anti-discriminatory 9-pay scale. The rally was held today at the Central Shohid Minar, rally capital. 11th to 20th grade government employees forum President Mohammad Lutfur Rahman presided over the rally, while Nagorik Oikko President Mahmudur Rahman Manna and Gonoshastho Andolon Chief Coordinator Junaid Saki, Gonoshonghoti Andolon Chief Coordinator Junaid Saki, among others, addressed the rally. Speakers called for a government employment grading system free of discrimination. Later, they marched towards Chief Advisor's residence. And now weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said weather may remain dry with temporary partly cloudy sky over the country. Light to moderate fog may occur over the country during late night to early morning. Night temperature may fall by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country. Country's lowest temperature was recorded today, 10.2 degrees Celsius at Ishordi, and capital Dhaka's lowest temperature was recorded, 17.5 degrees Celsius. And now sports news. Fortune Borishal clinched BPL title for the second consecutive time, beating Chittagong Kings by 3 wickets in the nail-biting final in Mirpur today. Earlier, Fortune Borishal won the toss and sent Chittagong Kings to bat first. Chittagong Kings scored 194 runs for 3 in their stipulated 20 overs. Parvez Hussain Imon was unbeaten on 78 runs of 49 balls, while Khwaja Nafe scored 66 of 44 balls and Graham Clark scored 44 of 23 balls. In reply, Fortune Borishal reached the victory target of 195 for 7 with 3 balls remaining. Tamim Iqbal scored 54 of 29 balls. Kyle Myers scored 46 of 28 balls and Tawheed Ridoy scored 32 runs for Borishal. Rishad Hussain was unbeaten on 18 runs of 6 balls. Australia are leading by 73 runs against Sri Lanka at stumps of the second day of the second and last test in Galle. At the end of the day, Australia scored 330 runs for 3 wickets in their first innings. Steve Smith and Alex Carey were at the crease with 120 and 139 runs respectively. Earlier, Sri Lanka started the second day's play with 229 runs for 9 wickets on the first day. The Lankans were all out for 257 runs in their first innings. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus urges all citizens to restore law and order immediately. Chief Advisor urges all to refrain from destroying properties of fascist Sheikh Hasina and Awami League leaders. Strict enforcement of law and order must to make the role of state and government visible, BNP statement. Price of vegetables within tolerable limits, edible oil price unstable at market. Child readers happily congregate at Omar Ekushe Book Fair today. Book sale increasing. Use of sulfur filter technology increasing to clean toxic hydrogen sulfide gas. Prime Minister Netanyahu directs Israel army to be prepared for implementation of Donald Trump's Gaza control plan. And Fortune Borishal clinched BPL title, beating Chittagong Kings by 3 wickets in the final. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with us. Our news bulletin is coming up at midnight tonight. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.